Hey, Comrade Snake here. A lot has happened in the 9 a.m. turn of Scenario 3, the second of 4 turns, so this is halfway done. As you'd kind of expect, Confederates are advancing. So, first off, kind of a disappointing draw for everybody. Everybody drew 2 for their efficiency. So it's not going, everyone got only a little bit of movement. I mean, I guess it's kind of good in some ways in that, they didn't get fatigued. Nobody got fatigued because there was very little shot combat. There's a little, but not enough to actually trigger fatigue. And then there was some, just the 2 activations, so no fatigue. But so still the same. So one of Prentice's units was routed, or I don't think that was the last turn. Maybe it was. It's irrelevant whether it was this turn or not. I mean, it's still out of the game. Doesn't really matter. There was, however, more importantly, Clayburn is most of him is over here. Clayburn got absolutely eviscerated. So he was way out in front, and as you can imagine, it didn't necessarily go well. So let me see if we can adjust a little bit to the front here. Yeah, Clayburn was out here. So Clayburn himself was actually killed. If we look under the markers here, got the replacement. Clayburn was killed, so that was a huge blow. Granted, his brigade was pretty much torn to pieces anyway by the firepower and a good flank shock attack by some of Sherman's boys. Pretty much cleared them off this side of the river, or stream, whatever you want to call it. And I've been exchanging fire a little bit with the remaining Confederates. Some of Clark's, I believe it was, which one? Which one? Yeah, Stewart. Some of Stewart's boys had made their way across and were in fighting with some of the federal forces up there, but so far nothing's really broken well with them. What sex were they? Yeah, they're disordered too. So the Union and the Federals and the 33rd Tennessee are both disordered. Pond was out of command, so he ended up with I'm gonna take this out of the thing just to give me a little bit more movement here. So Pond was out of command, so he only got 1 activation, so he's advancing to try to get to McDowell. McDowell also out of command and only had 1 activation. Took some pot shots at Pond, although it was before Pond had moved up, so it wasn't very effective. But still, waiting to see what happens there. Ruggles is the rest of Ruggles. Anderson's brigade is moving up to hit this flank, and either, depending on how things kind of shape up, either turn inward towards to roll up this line, possibly move in to support Pond. We'll see how that shakes out, because Clark's men, both of his brigades, are ready to exchange fire with Sherman, or possibly move in for an attack, although that's going to be a little dicey with the stream and the marsh and all that. But at the very least, they can exchange some fire, force the Federals back. And with the fire route rules on the Federals, it may be preferable to just try to outshoot them in this initial stage. They took a little bit of damage, especially the 5th Tennessee, when they were attempting to move up here and getting reaction fire from the artillery, and just taking some other fire from before. I forgot who it was who had damaged them prior to that, but they were before. And then Russell's men, on this side, getting ready to hit the 33rd Ohio in this flank here. And we got Johnson coming up kind of in a sort of pseudo reserve, but basically we're just going to try to hit with a great mass and just force our way past all that. Ideally before Veach's men, who have to make it to this hex here, the pike. They have to make it there, and then they can go do whatever they want, and they're going to, on their next activation, make it there, and then they're going to try to form a line probably around here-ish, you know, by Ben Howe Field, kind of south of the edge there, to help support a defense, or possibly move in for maybe a small counterattack. I mean, it's all going to depend on how this shapes up, but they're going to be there in reserve to support Sherman's men on the front. On the Confederate right, Wood and Shaver were advancing and exchanging a small amount of fire over here. Not a whole lot to report. Mostly ineffectual, though I think they knocked a strength point off this cavalry unit. No, I guess not. No, wait, I thought they did. No, maybe I'm misremembering. Because that 4 was from earlier on the last turn, but no, never mind. They failed. I forgot that was a low roll. Anyway, didn't go well there. Well, I mean, it went fine. They just didn't do any damage. Peabody's men, which were already in terrible shape, just withdrawing back. Peabody himself was killed in a firefight. So Peabody's dead, and his brigade is basically just bodies to slow down the Confederates, but they're going to be moving in for an attack here soon. Wraith is pretty close to in position to defend. It's a little bit haphazard, but not terrible. Not a terrible spot so far. A little bit of adjustment would be good, but they can start firing on some of, especially around here in the field. They got artillery and a sizable infantry regiment. They're disordered at the moment, but still, you can put some sizable amount of fire over here. Hopefully do some damage. But other than, the only reinforcements the Union are getting now is Grant's going to come in, which will give them a little bit of efficiency, but overall, it's not going to be, they don't have a lot of resources on hand, let's put it that way, to stop this very sizable Confederate attack. It's probably mostly just going to be a matter of how much do the Confederates win by, more so than anything else. But we'll see how it shakes out in the 10 a.m. turn 3, and I will catch you next time.